Hi guys, Marilyn here. I just wanted to do a tutorial real quick on how you can cut rhinestone templates on the Cricut. I previously posted a video on a t-shirt that I made with my Diaz Designs logo, and someone said it would be nice if you showed us how to do it, so that's what I'm gonna do. I've been a Cricut user since 2005, 2006, from when they first released the very first personal die cutting machine, and it was on an infomercial. I've then since upgraded from that to an Explore Air, which I absolutely love, and I also have the Cricut Maker, which I haven't even used yet. I also have the Scan and Cut that I originally purchased to cut rhinestone templates, but every time I watch one of those videos I get so frustrated and then I get confused, and yeah, so Design Space we already know is pretty simple to use. I would not be opposed to watching or learning the Silhouette Cameo program because they do have more capabilities than Cricut Design Space. I don't own a Silhouette Cameo, but you know, that's an option. But anyway, this is what I did for cutting a rhinestone template on my Cricut. First of all, I purchased the Sure Cuts Alot 4. I purchased this online and I downloaded it for $43. Some of these programs actually run from $400 to $800 for professional versions of rhinestones, cutting rhinestone templates, which I eventually hope to get. But this is what it is for now. It's on a budget, $43, and it does a really good job. I was very successful at my very first template, and it cuts beautifully on the Cricut machine. So we have Sure Cuts Alot here. There's a trace button. The trace image is also an importing button. So as we know, sometimes we go into Cricut Design Space and we find some clip art that we want to die cut. However, once we load it into Design Space, we find that the image is not as clean as it looks to our naked eye. Instead, it looks like this. You have all this noise around the edge of the cutting lines here, and when we try to go in to use our eraser, I know I personally sometimes dive into my image and then I start erasing things I don't want to erase. So I made a pot holder with this Santa image on the outside of the pot holder, and so what I did is I imported this image here into Sure Cuts Alot by using this trace button. And what the trace button does, it cleans all that noise around the edges of the cutting line and it makes it go away. So you don't have to go through that entire process in Design Space. So for this video, I am going to choose my Taino Sun petroglyph, and I'm going to open that up. And as you can see, there are red lines on the outside of the cutting line, and it looks very clean. So I'm going to hit OK. And now once I'm inside Sure Cuts Alot, I can expand it, I can make it slimmer, fatter, I can distort it and make it to whatever I want it to look like. But for this video, I am going to use my measurements over here on the right. I want this finished rhinestone template to be 8.5 inches. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and expand this, and we're going to turn this into a rhinestone template. So I'm going to go up here to Effects, and I'm going to click on Rhinestones. I'm working with round ones, and I am going to select SS10, which is the standard size of rhinestones for t-shirts and all that stuff. So as you can see, my image has now turned into rhinestones. I'm going to expand that because I need to make sure that my rhinestones are not touching, they're not sitting on top of each other, and I need to space them out. I do see a hot mess going on right here. So as you can see, these rhinestones are overlapping, they're touching, and this one is practically sitting on top of that one. Then we got two over here overlapping. So with this program, you can actually delete rhinestones, you can move them, or if you need to add more rhinestones, you can duplicate them. So this is what we're going to do. So as you can see, these look like little facets, so it looks like the rhinestones, right? Well, as in Design Space, when you attach several items together so you can cut it that way, if you need to revise that attachment, what do you have to do first? You have to detach it. So in Sure Cuts Alot, I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to break apart all these little rhinestones. Now we have these little flat images. I'm going to hit my selection tool, and I'm going to click on this rhinestone, and I'm just going to drag him by using my mouse. I'm going to move that one. This one here, I'm going to use this nudging tool over here. These you can move to the right or the left. More than likely, if you move it to the right or left, you need to move it up or down as well. So I moved that one, but now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to move him over as well. So I'm going to move that over to the left, and I'm also going to go up. Okay, so you can either use your mouse or you can use the nudging tool. Sometimes you can't. See how I distorted this rhinestone? I don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and hit the undo button. All right, I'm going to use the nudging tool for that. But now that I moved it up, it's gone out of its little circle, right? So now I've moved it to the left. This one I'm going to move up, and then I'm also going to move it to the left. Okay, so this is a petroglyph, so these circles are not exactly circles. Oops, I did it again. We're going to hit undo on that one, and then I want to click on this rhinestone. Going to move it to the right, but as you can see, it's out of line, so now I need to move it down. We're going to take this one, we're going to move it down. Nope, I'm still on the same one. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. I'm going to move that to the right a little bit, and then I'm also going to move it down. This one, drag that one out of the way. I'm going to grab my mouse and I'm going to drag this one out of the way. So you get the idea. You want to make sure that your rhinestones are not touching, so when you cut it in Design Space, you're not cutting them so then you have a big oval shape, because then it's not going to work out. So we're going to use the nudging tool for this one again. Move it down. So that's how you arrange your rhinestones. We're going to minimize this, and what we have to do, we're going to pretend that I did that to the entire image. We're going to pretend, for the sake of trying to keep this video short, we're going to pretend that I fixed all the rhinestones on here and this is ready to export. Now I want to cut this on my Cricut. So I'm going to go ahead and select my image. I'm going to go back to Object, and I'm going to group them all together. All right, now for some reason my size of my image went up to 8.6. I want this image to be 8.5. So now I'm going to go back in and make sure that the rhinestones that I just fixed, they're not touching each other and didn't get distorted. They are spaced out the way I spaced them out. So make sure my rhinestones are okay. This is ready to go. It's 8.5 inches. Now we're going to go ahead and export this. All right, so we're going to go to File, Export. All right, so now you can see it's Save as Type SVG. This is already an SVG. So as a Cricut Design Space user, you already know when you upload an image to Design Space, you need to clean out and delete that negative space. You don't have to do that with an SVG, and we don't have to do this with this rhinestone template. I'm going to replace the file name with this one so I don't have to keep making these dummies and importing them into Design Space. So we're just going to replace that file name. Now we have this export options window. This is telling us that we want to make this design space compatible. Yes, yes, please. For us Cricut users, we want to make sure that this is checkmarked right here. So we're going to hit OK. All right. So I'm going to minimize my Sure Cuts Alot. We're going to get rid of dirty little Santa there. And then we're going to hit upload. Normally we would go here to upload image and then we would delete all that negative space around it, but I've already done, well, we don't need to do that with the SVG, and I've already uploaded it. So now we're going to insert the image. Because these are a ton of little circles, it's going to take a little while to upload. As you can see, it may take a moment to load due to its larger size. That's because all my little circles are individual, as you can see where they're now loading. Once this image has completely uploaded, you want to make sure that you select them all and click on weld so you can have it as one image. For the purpose of making this video, I've already created my final file. I've already cleaned up the rhinestones. They're the size that I want. It looks perfect. All my rhinestones are separated. They're not touching. They're not overlapping. So this file is ready to cut. And as you can see over here on the right, I only have one file here. I don't have all those little dots like this here because I welded it. So in my next video, I'm going to show you the template material that I used to die cut this, and I'm going to show you how to die cut it, and then I'm going to show you how to place all the rhinestones and transfer it to the t-shirt. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and hopefully I can make a lot more videos now that I have this program for screenshotting my screen and my new Yeti microphone, which I absolutely love. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.